The throne chamber of the Valari Empire was filled with the smell of despair. Gleaming crystal walls pulsed faintly, like the slowed heartbeat of the princess who lay sprawled across the floor. The alien court clustered around her in panic. Emerald-skinned nobles whispering frantically, healers pouring vial after vial of shimmering fluid over her wounds. None of it worked. Princess Kilira, heir to the galaxy-spanning dynasty, was dying, and somewhere at the back of the chamber stood the most out-of-place being in the entire empire, a human engineer named Thomas Reed. He had been brought to Valari space not as a diplomat, not as a soldier, but as a mechanic, a warp drive specialist, useful only for patching up the Empire's aging engines. His orders had been simple: fix things, stay out of sight, and don't get involved in royal matters. But he hadn't expected this. Kilira coughed, a violent spasm shaking her fragile body. Her veins glowed faintly with a black rot, spreading through her like fire in dry grass. The healers stepped back, exchanging grim looks. One shook his head. "It is beyond us. The Shadow Blight consumes her spirit thread." The Empress herself, tall and regal with silver-lined skin, turned away to hide the tremor in her face. "Then my daughter is lost." Thomas shifted uncomfortably. He wasn't supposed to move, but the sight of the young princess, barely more than a teenager by human standards, gasping for air, stirred something in him. He had seen soldiers die before, back during Earth's border wars, and he knew the look of someone pleading for one last chance. His instincts betrayed him. He stepped forward. The guards snapped to attention, weapons raised. "Stay back, human," one barked. I just want to help," Thomas stammered. The Empress's gaze turned on him, colder than the vacuum of space. "Help? With what? Our brightest healers have failed. What could a fragile creature like you possibly do?" Thomas swallowed. He had no answer, only the gnawing feeling that if he did nothing, regret would haunt him forever. He ignored the guards, ignoring the shouted warnings, and knelt beside the princess. Her skin was burning hot, slick with alien fluids. She looked at him through half-lidded eyes, pupils flickering like dying stars. Without thinking, he reached out and gently tapped her hand. Just a human gesture, a comfort. The chamber went silent, and then light. From the point of contact, a ripple of white gold energy burst outward, washing over the princess's frail body. The black rot recoiled as though seared by fire, retreating inch by inch. Her breathing steadied, her trembling stilled. Gasps filled the chamber. The healers dropped their vials in shock. The Empress staggered back, whispering impossible. The ripple grew brighter, pulsing with every beat of Thomas's heart. He felt something drain from him, strength, warmth, a strange pressure behind his ribs, but he held on, refusing to let go of her hand. The princess's veins cleared, her wounds sealed with glowing threads of flesh. And in less than a minute, she opened her eyes fully, bright emerald, clear and alive. The royal family sank to their knees in disbelief. "She lives," one of the nobles breathed. The Empress, trembling, approached her daughter. "Kilira? Speak, child." The princess's voice was weak, but steady. "Mother, I am here." And then, turning her gaze toward Thomas, she whispered, "And he saved me." The chamber erupted in chaos. Guards shouted. Advisors argued. Some demanded Thomas be seized, interrogated, dismembered for the secret of his power. Others whispered in awe, calling him a chosen one. The Empress silenced them with a single raised hand. Her eyes locked on Thomas, sharp and calculating. "Human," she said slowly, "explain yourself. What have you done?" Thomas shook his head, still trembling. I don't know. I just touched her. I didn't mean for her." Lies hissed a noble. No primitive species can hold such power. But the Empress was not so sure. She had seen the impossible with her own eyes. For centuries, the Valari had scoured the stars for a cure to the Shadow Blight, a plague that no science, no magic, no empire could defeat. Yet this man, this insignificant outsider, had undone it with a single gesture. Thomas felt the weight of 100 alien eyes on him, and for the first time, realized the gravity of what had happened. In one careless moment, he had changed the fate of an empire. The Empress's expression softened, not with kindness, but with something colder, more dangerous. Possession. You will remain in this palace, she declared, her voice echoing like thunder. From this day forth, you are the property of the crown. Your touch holds the salvation of our bloodline, and perhaps our entire species. You will not leave until we understand what you are. Thomas's stomach dropped. He hadn't just saved a dying girl. He had bound himself to an empire. The princess squeezed his hand again, her touch gentle but firm. Don't be afraid, she whispered. You're not our prisoner. You're our hope. Thomas wanted to believe her, but deep down, he knew the truth. The Vailari did not see him as a man. They saw him as a weapon. And weapons, no matter how valuable, were always at risk of being turned against their will. Still, in that moment, as the chamber buzzed with fear and awe, only one thing was certain. For the first time in galactic history, humanity had proven it could do what no empire could. Humans fall, humans endura, une surprise. And the galaxy would never be the same again.